Drop. 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 Oops. All right. So sorry for that. GM, everybody. How we do? Oh, sorry. Let me show. Okay. Yeah, GM, everybody's nice. Always nice to be in front of you guys. Happy Wednesday, and you're welcome to another live stream by Onchain Africa. And one of the things that we do here is that we speak to African founders building from the African ecosystem or from Africa. All right. And also, aside from the fact that we speak to African founders, we are also here to make sure that you guys stay up to speed with what's happening here in the African space also. And one thing is one of the ways that we niche down our content that we speak to Web3 founders, people that are using the blockchain technology, people thinking futuristically, people using AI, people having building AI agents. And I think this is one of our first guests that we're having today who is doing something amazing with AI agents. All right. Once again, I'm your boy Benjamin, but you can also call me Web3 Bull. It's always nice to be your host on these live streams. Also, we do not also forget that we have this live stream twice every week, sometimes mostly on Mondays and Wednesdays. But sometimes we always make very little adjustments based on our guest availability. All right. So but it's all well and good. Always a nice time to be in front of you guys to bring these guests, talk about these founders, talk about what they're building, give them that spotlight, and also in return we hope to keep you guys motivated. You're watching right now. I know some of you probably have amazing ideas but don't know how to do it. From if you've been following our live stream, you've seen that we've spoken to the weirdest people. We've spoken to people that what they did, like the founder of Flip It Pay, actually he said he was into bee rearing before. This guy had bee farms, but now he's building an amazing tech today that's an amazing infrastructure right from Nigeria without having to study computer science, computer engineering, software development, all of those things. He didn't have to study all of that. But he learned over the years the importance of the idea he had in mind, and he just had to ship that product. And we've also spoken to people who were engineers in school. And the guest we're having today is a fan of art. So I would love to pick his mind on how art or his interest in art is actually improving or makes him build this that is building uniquely or in a very special way. So you can see that these guys have built outside of whatever they graduated with from the university or the college. All right. So your college certificate is not a limitation to what you can build or the future that you can become, because we've seen amazing people doing amazing things outside of their niche that they studied in university. So without further ado, one of the things I always beg, if you want to kneel down, I'm literally going to kneel down right now. All I need you to do is just to retweet this live stream. If you're watching from Twitter, please help me retweet this live stream. It's not going to cost you nothing. All right, it's absolutely free to receive a live stream in case you're not aware of that. So just click on the retweet button. Really going to appreciate that. And also, if you are watching on YouTube right now, you know what to do. Just copy the link from YouTube and simply share on whatever platform you use, either WhatsApp, Telegram, Snapchat. I don't know what you guys Gen Z's also use out there, but just help me and repost this. I really appreciate that. And if you know of a friend that should be on this live stream, go and invite that friend ASAP. Ask them to come join us, and so they can learn one or two things from this live stream that we host. It's not just about us. Neither is just about the founders. It's also about you guys watching us from wherever it is you are watching us from, outside, either within Nigeria or outside of Nigeria or outside of Africa at large. Thank you for joining us today, and let's go down to why we are here today. GM, Mr. Michael, how you doing today?
Um, GM, bro, what's up?
Yeah. Oh my guy, I just did. How you did now?
I'm on body deal.
No man, no man. Like they will say, body day inside clothes, and that's what's
Body deal
very
inside
important.
clothes. Normal.
No man, and that's actually what's important for us. As long as we are alive, then we can
Yeah,
make
man.
progress, and there's hope. How you doing today?
Yeah,
How's the
man.
weather over there?
Man, it's just light showers and very cool weather. Nothing much. Just chilling.
Mm,
Nothing
I
much
can
is
hear. I
happening
can
here.
actually hear from your voice. Very cool,
Uh,
like
yeah,
weather
it's
kind
very
of.
cozy. It's very cozy over here.
All right. That's nice. Thanks so much for joining us, Mr. Michael. Today it's quite an honor to have you and to speak
Yes,
with you and
man.
also talk about what you're building. All right. So, but before we dive into the product itself or what you're building, we'd love to know about the founder who is building it. I would love you to tell us briefly about yourself, what you were doing before this that you're building right now, how you got into Web3, how you got into AI. Was it something you studied in the university and all of that? Just give us a brief intro of who you are, sir.
Oh, okay. There's not much story to myself, anyways. But um, I mean, I went through the whole education pipeline like every other person did. I studied architecture actually, right? So
Interesting.
studied architecture, came out, practiced for a bit, and but I always knew that architecture wasn't necessarily the end game for me,
Mm,
because I've always been very tech savvy. I always liked playing around with computers, and building stuff, right? um so essentially, at my core, I am a creator, right? I like to create stuff, be it anything, be it art, be it music, be it products, whatever it is, right? So I just like to make things that people, that serves people in some sort of way, that either helps create a solve a problem for them, or just give them some sort of provide them some sort of happiness, right?
mm.
So that's just who I am at the core. Nothing much, just pretty basic, boring guy here.
You said boring. Well, I know in real life that's not true. Probably you just party once in a while or try to have fun
uh,
on other days.
yeah, just as the vibe goes.
Yeah, but let's talk about this a little bit because since you have a background in arts and also someone who studied architecture, you must be very good at drawing. You love art, you love nice structures and all of that. So how has your knowledge or background in arts actually helped you in tech at large?
All right. So first of all, art to me is how do I put this lightly? Art to me is something that brings people pleasure, right?
Mm,
Something that brings some sort of happiness to people's lives, right? That, and then coupled with the fact that my background in architecture, I mean, we all know what architecture is, right?
mhm,
Right from school, we've also, one of the fundamental things that has been drummed into our heads as students of architecture is that the foundation matters, right?
mm,
So architecture is simply a a stack, right, of good foundations, good direction, and pleasure, right?
mm,
So that has played a very, very vital role in, knowing exactly how to give people what I want to give them, and how to, structure it, and how to also give it a very, very rigid and a very, very good foundation, right? That
mm,
any little thing doesn't topple it over. It has reflected greatly in how I write code, has reflected greatly in how I think about, design systems and so on and so forth. Just like you said about drawing, like we used to sketch buildings, we used to, there's a course called design, right?
mm,
Design under architecture, right? So that very course has also played a very vital role on how I view um, products design wise, and how I approach it user experience wise. Because one of the I hope the UI UX guys don't come for me, right? But um bio architecture is just UI UX, right? So you have to think about how people experience the house, how they're going to use the house,
mm.
and the design of the house. So that has very played a very vital role in how I approach how people are going to use my product, and how I'm going to present that product to them.
To them,
So
yeah.
yeah, that's that in a nutshell.
You also made mention of something very important, foundation. Foundation is very, very important. It's really also as a programmer or someone in tech, what you are building, if it's rubbish, from the beginning, you just know it's rubbish. All right. So,
Exactly.
yeah, so foundation
Exactly.
is very, very
Uh,
important.
I, I remember when I was still doing hackathons, right? I was doing hackathons a lot, and I lost a lot of times, right? And I just, at some point, I just came to say to myself, 1 week into the a hackathon, and if I'm not able to, say exactly what I am trying to build, if I don't see a solid foundation of whatever I'm trying to build, I'm just going to give up and stop building it.
Mm,
And that helps a lot of in a lot to prevent a lot of slop, and just pushing out products that people don't necessarily
mm.
need out there. So yeah, that's a very great point as well.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Now you made mention about filling a lot of hackathons. I'd love you to explain how you probably handled. Um, All right, sorry for that.
Yeah,
All right, so we've seen a lot of people that probably failed, and because they failed, they thought, okay, this thing I'm doing is waste of time. I'm probably not going to make something good out of it, and all of that. But yeah, you failed at certain points, but you still kept on going back to fail again and fail.
yeah.
So I would love to know what your experience was like failing, why you kept trying, and what did you learn during those failing curves that you experienced.
I'd say that you can't win if you don't fail. That's I'm so sorry to put I'm so sorry, right? But you just cannot win if you don't fail, right? Because you have to fail to realize what a win is,
Mm,
right? So yeah, you have to fail to realize what a win is. It's just a very small fraction of us that win on every first trial or at everything that we do, right? Very a probably non-existent fraction of us, right? But I'd say this: my first startup, which is CoinSafe, graduated the IR HQ and Lisk Incubator program, and scaled to over 1,000 users. It was a product of a failed hackathon. As a matter of fact, our demo video was not even watched, right? Didn't watch our demo video. We didn't see any views. We didn't. I just felt a certain type of way, and I think that was my first hackathon, right? The first hackathon I ever did. So, but because I knew that I was going to, I had a direction with this
mm,
product. I was going somewhere with this product, right? I just kept on putting it out there. I kept on building it with a few of my friends that I built it with. So, and after that, of course I did more hackathons and I failed in a lot of them, and I've also won a lot of them. So,
mm,
just like I said, you won't know what a win feels like if you don't fail first. You will fail. You are going to fail, right? But it's a numbers game, right? It's a numbers game. You just cast your net out there and get the wins you can, take your losses, learn from it, and apply.
All right. So it's amazing to hear that you have other startups that you've tried, because from my research, I think you have two other startups right now that you are
Yeah.
running. Yeah, which is I think is really, really massive. So, but I'd love to know another thing before we go into what we are here for. I'd love to know why, or how do I put this question? Now, this is quite funny in my head. I'd love to know the journey process of concepting an idea to actually actualizing the idea into real life. Like, what was it like for me to move from the idea phase? Because a lot of people are stuck at, I have an idea, I have a dream, but how to materialize the idea is where they get really stuck. Like, what was the journey process like for you?
All right. So there is this pipeline, right? This is something that a journey that I take myself whenever I want to take on another adventure. You you detect a problem, you find a problem, you validate that problem. And then once you validate that problem, it's just down to the fundamentals. How do I build it? Right? So with CoinSafe, we found that problem, we validated it across our potential users, spoke to a lot of persons, spoke to people that we think needed this problem the most. And then we just came down to technical fundamentals, right? How then do I build this? And it's even very easy right now because as at the time we built CoinSafe in 2024, AI was already a little bit mainstream then, but not as it is right now, right? So
Mm,
AI has also now made building like the cheapest thing. Like it's very cheap to build right now. So essentially, what I would say to anybody that is thinking of a product to build or something to build, I would say ensure that there are two categories of products, right? A product that solves a problem, right? A valid problem, and then a product that just makes you feel good, right? It doesn't necessarily solve a problem for you, but you just enjoy it. It's a feel good product, right? So these are the two categories of product, or at least the most that I can think of right now, right? So ensure that it either solves a valid problem and not just thinking about this as a problem in your head. Speak to people about it, right? Surveys are very cheap. Meet, even if it's across, even if it's, before I wrote a single line of code for CoinSafe, right? That is post the hackathon.
Yeah.
My first our first survey was just across, I think, about 15 to 20%. It wasn't much, right? Well, if you can find 10 people, right, that can subjectively decide or validate a case for you, that's somewhere to start with. That's somewhere to start, right? So if 10 people can validate a problem, 20 people can as well, even if it is out of 50. So because you cannot capture the entire market. So if you run a survey across 100 persons, and at least 40% to 50% of them signify that this is a problem that they have, and this what you're building is something that can solve this problem that they have, then it's valid to chase it and to pursue it and go ahead with it. So that's just my own pipeline. Spot a problem, validate it, and then it's just down to the fundamentals of building from there. And of course, GT go to market is yeah, another
I
discussion,
think, yeah.
right? That's just it.
Yeah, but you said that you scaled the project from 0 users to over 1,000 users. Like, what was your strategy on moving from 0 to over 1,000, based on GTM?
One word, community, right? We built a community, right?
Mm,
So we're already integrated in a lot of communities, the Web3 ecosystem, the developer community, a lot of groups, a lot of events. If you go through the CoinSafe accounts, you're going to see tons and tons of events that we are present at. The ETH Prodfest in Jos, Web3 Lagos conference in Lagos here last year. Um, went to Unilag and so on and so forth, right? So we held community at high standard. We ensured to make it a person facing product, right? So they place a face to it, and you could go out there and talk to your customers or potential customers, and speak to people. So we tapped into most of these communities, most of these events, most of these group chat, Discord servers, and so on and so forth, and
mm,
built a niche community for ourselves from there.
mm. All right, thank you so much for that. And I would also love to know also, because we probably have some founders that they are good at program, they have a nice ideas, they know how to do all the codes and all of that. But I'd love to know your thoughts on founders led marketing. That is the founder putting him or herself out there trying to explain the concept of everything just to build trust and all of those things. Like, what's your thought on such marketing strategy?
All right. I think it's just the best type of strategy, right? That's what the top companies we have on the world right now do, right? You see Sam Altman of OpenAI, you see the
Hmm.
Claude, the Anthropic guy, etc. You see Elon Musk, right? Nobody sells Tesla or SpaceX as much as Elon Musk does,
Yeah.
right? Yes. So founder-led marketing, I think it's a little bit tricky and more difficult for us who are primarily engineers, right?
Hmm.
Because engineers are used to being the guys and working in the background, right? They do the
Yeah.
work and nobody really knows who they are, and they just get paid and do their thing, right? But now that more engineers are now building products, you have to put yourself out there. It's still very very difficult for me as well, right? Because sometimes I even forget about social media. I forget I have to post about my product and stuff like that. But please don't be like me. Sell yourself, sell your product, sell it aggressively, right?
Hmm.
It doesn't really, nobody really cares. Just do your thing, right? That's
Yeah.
So that's something that everybody who is trying to build should do, and something that I'm also working to get better at as well.
All right, all right. Thank you so much for that, sir. So let's go down to agents. So for somebody watching this right now, and I'm sure about 50% or over 50% of people watching right now have not heard about this, because I know it's a new product that you're working on.
Yeah.
I would love you to explain it in layman terms and why should it matter to them and why they should pay attention or something.
All right. So I don't, if you some just before I got on this call, right? I saw a post from Vassell, right? So there's something they just launched called Eve, which is Next.js for AI agents, right? Just about 30 minutes ago, they made the post, right? It's Next.js for AI agents, right? For anybody who wants to build and deploy custom AI agents for themselves, for their workplace, for whatever it is, right? That that is so much. I loved that post, right? Because it's so much validation. It is pushing. It is panning the camera towards where the world is going to right now. I mean, the vertical AI agents are already 10xing our our productivity and efficiency across
Yes,
countless
sir.
industries, right?
That's true.
So it is, and intelligence is no longer the problem. We have very very smart LLMs out there. We have Claude, we have OpenAI, Kimi, and so on and so forth. So intelligence is no longer the issue. The issue now is autonomy, right? And for people building vertical AI agents are just AI agents that does a specific thing for you, right? Not horizontal AI agents are things like Claude Code, um, OpenAI, Codex, and so on and so forth. They are generalistic
Yeah,
agents and
yeah.
generalistic AIs, right? But vertical AIs are things that do specific things, maybe in a workplace, in your workflow, and so on and so forth, right? For instance, one of the products that just launched recently, built on top of agents, is UpHunt. What UpHunt does is every day it scans product hunts, hacker news, Reddit, Twitter threads, and so on and so forth. Scars the internet, right? And fishes out categories, fishes out trending topics and trending niches that people are talking about, what the buzz is all about, and
Mm,
steals product ideas from all of those categories, distills product ideas that anybody can pick up and start building, right? That is a vertical AI agenda. All it does is just brings up the latest product news and gives you product ideas that you can build. I think you have to pay like $1 to access the full reports, and so on and so forth, right? So that wouldn't have been possible if, because what that agent, for instance, does right now is it pays for exosearch, it pays for ground searching, it pays for the LLM, the intelligence that powers it, and it also pays for the email, right, that it uses to forward those product ideas to whoever is
mm,
subscribed to them. And these are services that is not possible without agents, without a way to pay for those services. These are all paid services. Why it's seamless for Cloud Code and Codex is because those things are already paid for, right, with your subscription,
yeah.
right, with your subscription. But just like I said, they are horizontal agents. They are not trained on a particular workflow, niche workflow, right? So in simple terms, agents is something that helps your AI agents pay for services. You can pay other agents for performing. We all know that we have agent marketplaces right now,
Yes,
where
sir.
agents pay other agents to perform tasks. You can pay for services. Well, we have over 80 plus services that you can pay for with agents right now. Browser search, agent search, Exa search. You can pay for DeepSeek, Claude, OpenAI, etc., etc. You can pay for tons and tons of services, and these are all things that you couple together to build a vertical AI agent that does a task. So without them, we lose that autonomy. We lose the autonomy of that AI agent, because then you have to step in to pay for that service so that the agent can continue its workflow. So all you have to do on agents is sign up, fund it, set policies, right? Or I don't want my agent to spend more than XYZ amount today. I don't want my agent to spend more than XYZ amount for a particular transaction. Just set up those policies that your agent is going to abide with, and your agent will get access to the funds, to the services, and to every other feature that we have on agents just through one API key, right?
mm,
So it's very, very useful for people who are building custom, custom agents, and for even already existing AI agents as well. We have skill files that you can drop into your Cloud Code, your Codex, your Hermes agent, or OpenClaw, and it will simply onboard itself into agents and use those services that we have on agents as well. So it's good for building from the ground up, and it's also good for already existing agents that people are managing. So
yeah.
yeah, that's that in just a few sentences.
No, that's a few sentences. That's like 5 pages right now.
Ah,
Well, thank you so
sometimes
much.
when I go, I just
Yeah, you just
yeah.
go on. But that's nice. But let's just use for context sake, for the sake of context. I watching or listening right now, I totally understand all you said because I'm quite familiar with AI agents and clouds and all of this. I use them for my daily day-to-day tasks. But for somebody watching this right now and probably wants to clip from this, in very few sentences, what is agent?
What is agents?
Yes, sir.
All right. So agents is simply a way to help your AI agents pay for services, pay people, pay for services, pay for anything at all, right?
Mm,
It can be ordering you stuff, it can be buying you stuff online, it can be paying for services that the agent uses for its own operations, and so on and so forth. So
yeah.
it's just a wallet for AI agents that
All
they
right.
can, handle and manage autonomously.
Mm. But you know the interesting part about why I love what you're building is because you are you are ahead of a lot of Nigerian builders because AI agents has been something that has been trending in the first world nations and all of that happening. And Nigeria being a third world nation, actually, we are behind on AI and things happening. And looking at somebody from Lagos, Nigeria, doing something amazing that competes literally globally, and someone from Canada, US can actually plug into agents and use agents based on he or she tax or the tax that they have for such particular events. But now moving forward to this that you're building now, what inspired agents actually for you? What was that problem that you saw that you really wanted to tackle, and how it's really going to be beneficial to anyone using it per se?
Good. So I'm an agent builder myself, right?
Mm,
I've built tons and tons of agents, right? That does specific stuff for me, or for corporations, or for stuff that I do, right? So this is a wall that I hit myself. Prior to agents, how I do this was maybe, I want my agents to send emails. I go for and pay for the service and bring the API key and couple it in. I need my agents to maybe to do XYZ. I go and pay for it separate. So I have to manage different API keys, a lot of API keys, right? And not just handling those API keys, handling the private keys and public keys and funding and so on and so forth for my agents to be able to pay for those services as it needs them, which is just a lot, right?
yeah,
It's
true.
it leads to lost secrets. You can I mean, we all know that EMVs and I hope everybody here is understanding what I'm saying anyways, but we all know that those credentials are very sensitive information, right? They're sensitive information. So it just brings in a level of friction to you building what you want to build, right? So, and then that's number one. Number two, the already existing chains where those services rely, right, or rather reside right now, are more expensive. And I thought to myself, this is infrastructure that is already existing on Stellar. And by the way, Stellar is one of the like the cheapest what is it called blockchains out there, right?
Mm,
Fractions of a cent. Like you can see 0.8, your agent can perform thousands and thousands of tasks for just 0.00 sub cents,
mm,
right? Which is not the same case on chains like Base, of even though Base already also has very cheap gas fees as well. So I feel like Stellar is the chain or the network that was, meant for agents to operate in. And
mm.
Stella also has like all of this infrastructure. It has the MPP router. It has the CCTP v2 that just went live with from Circle. That is the issuers of USDC.
Yes,
So
sir.
and it is also a USDC native um, network as well. So everything just aligned. It was a problem that I had myself, that a lot of my friends had, a lot of the people in my community have as well, people that I build with, and it's also something that the infrastructure is there, but the product isn't yet. So I just decided to tap in, solve that problem utilizing the infrastructure that is there to give people the product that they need.
All right, thank you so much. I'm glad you actually made mention of the Stellar network, and I'm a huge fan of what Stellar is actually doing, helping builders from this part of the world actually build and scale their products.
Yes, sir.
Also, big shout out to the Stellar team actually. But
Yeah.
moving forward now, you said that you're building on Stellar right now. I'd love to know how you are utilizing the blockchain with this that you're building. I know blockchain helps blockchains or crypto and AIs are the future of everything that is happening right now. But I'd love to know how this agents actually pays those API providers in crypto. Like, I'd love to understand how that works, by the way.
If you need that one, you need to dive into the code. Though you need to dive into the code base for
No,
that one, right?
not anything too technical. I just want to understand the idea behind all of that because I'm sure you are meant to pay this in fiat, but right now you are paying in stable coins. So I just want to
Yeah.
understand how the magic happens.
So we have the MPP. We have the MPP catalog there already. The MPP catalog is a catalog of services that agents can tap into and pay for using stable coins instead of fiat, right? So the MPP catalog is an already existing infrastructure
Mm,
on Stellar, right? We have that on Base. I think it's just on Base and Stellar right now, to the best of my knowledge. I don't know if it's on any other, network out there. So instead of people going to now, use all of those services from the MPP catalog, the MPP router catalog, I have just bundled all of them into agents so that with just one API key, any agent can get access to any of those services, right?
mm,
So I am just building on top of an already existing layer, an already existing infrastructure, just like I said. I am merely a provider, right? I provide you the means to communicate with that infrastructure and
yeah,
pay for it,
yeah.
right? So yeah, so it's not like I am the one, managing the API keys and managing like all of those hundreds of services out there. I'm just, bundling them up into one API key for you so that you can pay for any of those services. So I
Mm.
think that I hope I was able to answer that question in the simplest terms that I can.
Yeah. Because I mean, understand that there's an infrastructure already existing that you just have to tap into. Makes the
Yeah,
work a lot easy for people that
yeah,
are that would love to understand how that works. By the way, so just in case you're joining the live stream, this is Onchain Africa by Afroplay once again, and I remember your boy Web3 Bull on Benjamin, and here with me is Michael, the founder of Agents and the founder of other things. This guy, they found things for a living. Next year, if you will say one founder on that thing
uh,
again. So what they're actually building right now at agents or agents is actually a system that helps agents pay for things or services. As we know, we are in the agentic economy where agents actually get things done themselves without you having to manually control what it does and what it doesn't do. So what they're simply building is, I'll call it an infrastructure that enables AI agents or help agent AI agents transact with other services that it wants to probably incorporate with or want to actually actively use. And yet their Twitter page so far, you can do what to give them a follow right now on Twitter just to give
yes,
them
sir.
support and also to encourage and stay up to speed with what they are doing. As you can see, I didn't know I was not following, and I followed. I was sacked the intern for not following actually. So I just give a follow. Please do well to give them a follow also to encourage them. And if you're also building something that has to do with the agentic economy that we're going into, do well to tap into this infrastructure, because one thing about working with infrastructure is that it saves you time. Somebody has spent the 12 months to build what will take you 12 months to build. So why not just tap into what's existing already and also see how you can also get your project life and direct. And one thing I always say in this agentic economy is the fact that being skillful is not enough. You have to learn how to be skillful with speed, getting the job done with time, in no time. And that's why infrastructures do exist, because it really saves a lot of time, energy, and cost. All right. And here's their websites right now. You can simply head down to their website. I think you cannot sign up yet. You can just join the wait list so far, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you can join the wait list right now so that when they are fully live, you can be one of the first people that can test right now and all of that. I see that, sorry, I don't know if there's any access code to.
So yeah, yes. So they don't necessarily have to wait. We just want to, I mean, we just want to manage the volume of people that we let onto the system, so we can like track track the progress and so on and so forth. All you need to do is just join the wait list. Once you join the wait list, we're going to get back to you within 24 to 48 hours with an access code and potentially some credits as well that will let you let you bootstrap your AI agent and give it some sort of runway to bootstrap your project or whatever it is you're building to, and also help you help the agents, give the agents some credits that will help them do whatever they need to do for a period of time before you then go ahead to top up yourself if you are comfortable with the service that agents has provided so far. So just sign up the wait list, you get a code, you get some credits, which you cannot withdraw. Disclaimer, is just for the marketplace for you to help your
Explore.
agents pay for the services. Yeah, exactly.
Mm. All right. Thank you. Thanks so much from that. Like you've heard from the horse's mouth, all you have to do is just join the wait list and they're going to get back to you within 24 to 48 hours. All right. And also the link to their website is in their Twitter bio on their Twitter bio. Just head down to Twitter, click on the link and take you directly down to the website. And if you have any question during the course of this live stream, please do well to leave it in the comment section. Our intern is going to spot it and probably just get it to me, or I would see it from my end. Yeah, if you have any question as regards this that they are building, or probably the life of a founder, life of someone in tech, someone building something, also do what to leave in the comment section. More than glad to take questions and also give accurate answers to your question. And don't forget, click the retweet button. Please, I'm begging you, click the retweet button so that this video can reach the people that it should actually reach out to. So, sir, to my next question now, talking your agent, your API, or your infrastructure, let me call it an infrastructure, actually deals with money and wallets. Let's talk about how secure it is. What security measurements are you putting in place to make sure that this is very secure and safe?
Beautiful. So, of course, I can always tell you, I can always tell you, excuse me.
No problem, sir.
Yeah, so I can always tell you that, oh, it's so secure, blah blah blah. But heaven and earth knows that that is the truth between me, my God, and my code base, right? But I'd like to say that we've taken the time to build this, integrally. We've taken the time to make it very safe. We've gone through one round of audits so far, right? And more to come out there. And so, and also in terms of making sure that your agent does not misuse the funds that you're handing over to it, maybe out, maybe the logic goes haywire and it spends more than you're supposed to it's supposed to spend. So we have set rules and policies, right? So we have the max transaction policy, and we have the per month policy, and then the
Mm,
allowance policy as well, to make sure that first of all, there is a certain amount of money that your agent cannot spend in 1 month.
mhm,
Secondly, there is a certain amount of money that your agent cannot spend at a time just with one transaction. And thirdly, an approval threshold whereby if he wants to spend a certain amount, it has to send you an approval request that you can approve via your email. Maybe if you set up any other social media authenticator, you can approve that payment and the agent can continue with whatever it does. So that's also that also reduces greatly the dangers of maybe agents going haywire, or someone trying to manipulate your agents,
Mm,
or maybe what's the word I'm looking for, malformed keys, or keys that you lost, API keys that you lost. So there is a certain amount of money that the agents that cannot be moved at the time from your agent's wallet, right? So
mm,
if that happens, we send you an email immediately that you can, use to either revoke the API key in question or block your account temporarily.
mm.
So yeah, these are a few of the measures that we've taken so far.
I really like the feature where I can actually limit what I want this agent to spend per day or per month. I think that's actually very brilliant and smart. I would love to, since we are talking about security, I think that was last month we heard of the news whereby a very interesting man actually manipulated the banker bot using Twitter
Yeah.
and something called Morse code. And
Yes. Yes.
Grok thought it was trying to help the guy solve a particular problem, but it withdrew funds and sent it to the guy, which was
Yes.
later resolved. So
Yeah.
we can't say these things are totally accurately secured per se, because they can be manipulated. But I mean, staying safe with this measure that you guys have put in place, I think it's actually a very brilliant one. And GG's to the team and everyone behind
Yeah.
the software release that you're building. So
Thanks, man.
so far, what's more like the bottleneck that you guys are experiencing building this from Nigeria?
All right. Just like you said, being ahead of the curve. I feel like we're. I don't think we are too early, right? But I think we are a tad bit early, in the
Mm,
sense that the average person here, I have to explain first of all what agents are before I then go ahead to explain what agents is and how agents helps agents,
the
right? So I
struggle.
think yeah. So I think that's a struggle that we've had so far. People not necessarily understanding what we built and how it comes into play in their own workflow. But just like I said, it's also very good to be early because we have the enough room to iterate to make this product the best that it can be. At least we have our community, we have the people that we are potentially building for. Just like
Mm,
I said, we have about 3 products live right now built on
yeah.
top of agents, right? It's going to give us enough room to iterate and get even better. We are pivoting to a reality where I'm thinking agents are going to be doing 80% of the things that we used to do ourselves manually online,
Mm,
be it work, be it social media, be it purchasing and buying and etc. etc. So that is one bottleneck, and the second bottleneck of course is which is like the most famous bottleneck is funding, right? We are currently bootstrapped, so I am building out of like what I can spare, but that is why I am taking on most of the load. So we run a very very lean team. We are just about 3 so far, right? So and the third person just joined us last week. So we're just 2 persons that have built this product from end to end. So funding, of course, is going to help us research better, go out there, do more things, iterate, fail faster, fail
mm.
fast, recover faster, and so on and so forth. But aside from that, it's just one step at a time so far.
All right, all right. Thank you so much. And I think one major bottleneck you talked about was the fact that we are early enough and people don't really understand what even AI is. Talk about agents. Do you get? But let me
Yeah.
also ask or pick your mind, like, how do you intend? Because if you are early to this now, you would actually have to do a lot of work explaining to people. How do you
Yeah.
intend to simplify this to organizations that most likely will be needing your services? How do you intend to make this easy for people to?
Sorry, come again. I
Okay,
think I lost you there.
all right. So I was trying to ask, or I was asking that how do you intend to simplify this agentic economy to organizations or people that will probably be needing this infrastructure? How do you intend to simplify it to someone who is probably a millennial and all these old people? Sure. Yeah.
Right. So it's 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 not going to go beyond education, right? It's not going to go beyond trying to educate them to exactly what AI is, what AI agents are, and how they can 10x their flows, 10x their processes, and so on and so forth. So right now, as I'm talking to you, I just sent that what is it called? I don't know if you've seen the tweet, the post from Versal. It's I think the framework is called Eve, the next JS for AI agents. Right.
Mm,
So I've sent the minute I saw it, I sent it to someone on the team, on our team, to build a template, right, using that um, coupling Eve, which is the Versal's framework, and
mm,
agents, right? So that is just one example. That is going to help people to kickstart it for people. So they just see a template that, oh, okay, this goes here, this goes there. I can use this for XYZ, right? So people, we have learned people, right? We have engineers already, developers, and so on and so forth. We just have to find a way to strip off all of the complexities, right, and
mm.
use just natural language. It's not hard. I like when you asked me after I went on and on about agents, you just asked me in a few sentences I should just say it, right? So it's
Yeah.
simply a way. If you know what AI agents is, if you know what you can use AI agents for, you can understand how you can use agents to even expand the capability of those AI agents. It's that
Mm.
simple, right?
Yes,
So
that's
our mission is going to be to simplify all of that, strip off all of the complexities, build up templates that people can, plug in and start playing with immediately in a way that they can understand, right? So I think that's our plan for now. Of course, we are still a very, very, young startup, a young product, and it's just going to get better.
yeah. By the grace of God, definitely it should keep getting better. I
Yeah.
have a lot of questions I've written down here, and I hope I'm able to ask all of that in a very
Yeah,
short
shoot,
time.
shoot, shoot.
All right, because if you've noticed, I've not even touched the questions I actually listed initially. Like, and that's one thing about me. I love having conversations because I think that's where I'm able to get to the roots of what we are talking about
Yeah,
better. Yeah.
yeah.
So let's talk about your milestones so far. Like, at what point did you get to and you realize that, oh, what I'm doing is going to be very useful and I'm doing the right thing without wasting of time.
At the point where I built my first product using agents, right?
Mm,
After building agents, I built the rough sketch for agents, and then I was building this AI powered application, right? That I posted about a while ago, called Sigil Protocol,
yes,
and I
sir.
used agents as a harness for it. And I figured out that it solved most of the issues that I would have had ordinarily if I was building it without. And I was like, you know what? I think initially it was just an imagination that I had. Oh, why don't I build X Y? I didn't even have a landing page. I just built like the API, right? I just
Mm,
built the backend, the infra, and then I was able to use it, and I was like, you know what, I think I'm going to bite. I think this is something that I'm going to, pursue, right? And then, of course, the problem validation phase as well. We conducted our, problem validation survey as well amongst my my community, the people I normally work with, the groups that I'm in, etc, and the people who were able to relate with it were like, you know what, Michael, I think this what you're building is very special, right? And
mm.
so I think, yeah, that's about the time that I was like, yeah, I'm going to keep on doing this.
All right. I mean,
Yeah.
we always need that point where we know that okay, we're on track and we are not wasting any time.
Time.
So
Yeah.
a random person watching this right now only uses ChatGPT, Claude, and what other LLM out there. But why do you think they need an agent to help them do what they do better or faster?
It's very simple. You either adapt or you die. That's a very popular saying.
Yeah.
Adapt or die, right? So just like I said, we are moving towards a time where AI agents. For instance, A16Z. I believe you know A16Z, right?
Yeah,
So
sir.
You see, they released an article a while ago, call it about a month plus ago, that I went through, and I resonated with a lot that they're saying. So in the financial industry alone, right? Agents already outnumber human counterparts 100 to 1.
Hmm.
We have agents, people are building agents for bizarre things right now. People are building agents that trade, people are building agents that respond to emails, people are building agents that do the the repetitive, boring work that they always do, right? So if you're using, it doesn't end in just using ChatGPT or any random LLM. There is a reason why they are agents. So before, in the early days of AI, we had just had ask and response, ask and response. You ask an LLM a response, right? But now we found that coupling up agents, they can now do things, they can now act and not just respond. It's
Hmm.
not just, oh, how do I fix this bug in my code? And it will tell you to go and remove it. It now removes it for you.
For you
Or
automatically,
this,
yeah.
generate an email template for me. It doesn't just generate it these days. It can now send those emails for you without you even lifting a finger. I mean, it's going to make us much lazier, right? And the scope will be a lot, but you just have to either adapt or die. I read an article the other day. Some guy was saying, the title of the article was "How to Retain Your Job," how to not get fired for, how to not let AI take over your job. And the first thing that the guy said in capital letters is automate everything,
Hmm.
automate your coworkers, automate yourself. Well, let your managers know that you are the one doing the automation, right?
Hmm.
So um agents are Meta laid off 13,000 staff members. But what people don't know is that the people that were left, the people that were retained, some sort of learning agents were installed into the work computers, and to learn exactly how they are doing their job so that they can automate it, right? So um any random person using ChatGPT or any random LLM right now, you just need to, pan the camera over to what is happening right now and just tap in, man. Just tap in, adapt. You just have to adapt.
So, to those of you guys that you feel you cannot be replaced, I just hope nobody builds an agent that replaces you. I'm so sorry. But you can be a step ahead of the game by building an agent that actually replaces you in the place of work. So, you just go to work with your popcorn and some Netflix while the agent gets the job done.
Yeah.
All right, so we have barely about 6 minutes right now, and I think I'd also love to ask a couple of questions, just two more questions, but I think that should be enough. But you said talked about having in tokens in agents for people to use and all of that. Like, how
Yeah.
much would they cost? Like, what would the price range actually look like?
I mean, you mean how much credits we are giving out?
Yeah, sorry, I meant credits. Yeah.
All right. So right now we have an open raffle of $100, right?
Mm,
That is to be shared amongst people. So anybody can be receiving anything from $5 to $10, depending, right? So, but just like $5 is more than enough to bootstrap an agent, because if you go through the services on agents, which you can find at agents.xyz/services, you're going to see that most of the services there are in subcents, right? You can see 0.0001, 0.0003, and so on and so forth, for those to pay for those services. And agents is pay per use, no
mm,
subscriptions. You don't have to subscribe for a month and your subscription will end, and then you have to subscribe again. So if you load in $5, $10, you have to, it's until you exhaust it, then you have to top up again. So $5, $10 is enough to bootstrap an agent, build it, and have it run for about 2 to 3 weeks, depending on how often it runs, and so on and so forth, right? So anyone can be expecting around $5 to $10, depending on the level of traffic that we have. That's why we have to respond to between 24 to 48 hours. So we'll see the number of people in that window and know how to aggregate it. But best believe, maybe if you're building something that we really, forgive my French, but fuck with, once when your credit finishes, you can always request for more. We want to get people out there, we want to get people building stuff, and want to facilitate that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. And I hope you're listening right now. So if you want to build something or you're building something right now that has to do with AI agents, you know where to get free credits and also to explore from. Just do what to go to agents and try to use what they're building, what they've built so far, just to make your job easy. All right. And also so that you can get better at building agents for yourself too. All right.
Yes.
So moving my last question right now is how do you intend to generate revenue from these that you're building? Because I'm sure it's not just from the credit sales, but probably could be from the credit sales though. But what's your idea on revenue generating systems?
I don't know if this is trade secrets, but we're all friends here, so I'm just going to say, right. So we charge a little fee, we charge a
Mm,
little markup on the, so you're not even paying the fee outrightly. We just charge a little markup on the amount that you were meant to pay, right? On per call. So if you're not doing any call, we're not charging you any fees. But if you're calling maybe services from the marketplace, well, we charge as little as 5% on those those API calls, right? So if you were meant to pay, if the original was meant to be maybe 0.003, maybe you end up paying 0.0035 or something
mm,
like that, right?
yeah.
Very, very insignificant, very, very minute, but together, it piles up, right? It loads up. But for us, we are still refining our revenue generating model. Of course, we're still refining. I hope I don't come across as an unserious founder here, right? But revenue is not the first thing on my mind, right? I
Mm,
want to build something that people are willing to pay for. If I'm able to nail it, right, I'm sure it doesn't really matter how much we charge, right? For people that it solves a lot of problems for, we want to build something that actually solves a problem for the people that we want to serve, and then we're going to decide and maybe come up with something else. But for now, that's just all we have. And also, there's this unique thing about agents as well. We are not just locked in on Stellar, right? With Circle CCTP, you can also settle payments on Base as well from Stellar. Agents gives you a USDT wallet on Stellar, and it can also help you pay base payments as well, right? Exfo to payment request on base, agents can settle it from Stellar. Maybe you want to pay. I mean, if you watch the demo video that I posted up earlier, you'll see where I paid a base address using agents from Stellar, right? So all you need to do is to just provide the wallet address, be it a Stellar wallet address, be it an EVM wallet address, or be it an a Stellar Expo to request or an EVM Expo to request, agents can settle it as well. And so we charge just a tad bit higher for cross-chain payment settlements, right? Or because of course there is a lot that we need to handle. We need to handle those gas fees on Stellar, handle the because it's born and mint, right? You
mm,
born on Stellar, you mint on Base or whatever chain that your the destination chain. So we have to pay the fees on Stellar and on the destination chain, and then the attestation fee as well, right? So that's why we just charge a little bit on cross chain payments, but for same chain payment, that is Stellar to Stellar, maybe paying another agent on Stellar or Expo to payments on Stellar, it's completely free. We don't charge for that.
thank you so much for that you shared. I really appreciate that. So, to somebody watching this right now and is confused about life, the economy is quite challenging and everything. What's your 2 cents to them as we wrap up this live stream right now to keep forging ahead and keep showing up? Like, what's your 2 cents in terms of advice to them?
Sorry, I think I lost you for a moment. I heard just come again. Sorry.
All right, so I'll just ask in few words or in lesser words. I would love to you to probably speak to people watching right now who are probably also in Nigeria wanting to build something that stands or competes globally, but are kind of confused based on the challenges that we all experience as Nigerians and all of that, but don't know how to go about all of that. I would love you to probably share your own 2 cents with them and probably what they should know to forge ahead.
All right, you just have to be delusional, man. It's just delulu,
Go crazy.
you know. It's just delulu. That's why it's the famous words. Fake it till you make it. You know,
Mm,
just keep doing your thing, man. Just we already have Africans, we already have Nigerians doing very big things, doing things that we all dreamt to do.
mm,
And one thing that I found is that they don't have two heads, right?
yeah,
Um, in your own little corner, build your thing, post about it. Whether you get likes, whether you get comments, it doesn't really matter, man. One day it's going to count. One day someone is going to go. You know how maybe something happens with celebrities and then people start digging back to their old posts, right? It's the same thing. One day someone is going to find this genius and be like, oh wow, this guy is really brilliant. And they'll go through like what you've built so far, the things you've put out there, and so on and so forth. And it's going to stack for your
yeah,
credibility.
yeah.
So that's just one thing that I have to say, man. Just keep doing your thing and keep putting it out there.
Yep. Thank you so much, Mr. Michael. I really appreciate it for you. I really appreciate
So,
your time. It's been an amazing 1 hour of speaking to you, tapping from your wealth bank of knowledge, information, and AI agents. Well, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. Big shout
thank
out to
you.
our 68 viewers on X right now, and also our 5 viewers on YouTube right now. Thank you so much for your time. This live stream would have existed without you guys tuning in on today's live stream. Thank you so much. And do not forget to always do well to come back to watch live stream like this. We have it every Mondays and on Wednesdays, depending, could be on Thursdays also. But definitely we'll make an announcement on that on Twitter. Thank you once again, Michael. Do well to enjoy the
Yes,
rest of your
sir.
week and your weekend. Until we meet again. And bye guys. Thank you so much.
Peace out.
All
Cheers,
right,
bro.
peace. Cheers. Bye.